Yeah. So, welcome to the transformation through forgiveness. So, there is a small exercise for all of you. So, I would like all of you to close your eyes for 2 minutes if it's not uncomfortable for you. Just close your eyes for 2 minutes. And I would like all of you to visualize tree. I know many of you have done the exercise. If not, then I would like you to get completely involved with that. So, I would like you to visualize a tree, whatever kind of tree comes to your mind. See how it looks like, what kind of leaf it has, what color the leaf has, how big is it, and what kind of fruits are hanging on the tree. Just try to visualize tree, any tree which you like. So if you have visualized a tree, then I would like you to share what are you seeing in your tree, what your tree looks like. Maybe you can just share in the WhatsApp on the chat section. You can just share on the, as you can unmute yourself, you can share with all of us. What this tree looks like. I'm starting getting the messages here. Let me see. Banyan tree. So Premaji is looking for a banyan tree, very auspicious tree. Okay. Anyone else? How your tree looks like?
I think because you said maybe what kind of fruits, I thought, well, that's the best tree is the mango tree.
A mango tree. You thought
It's
of a
the
mango
king
tree.
tree.
Beautiful. Yes.
So it's a
Yes.
very big mango tree with
Very big mango
lots of
tree. Yeah.
big mango fruit.
A lot of big mangoes. Yes. How your tree looks like? What you see in your tree? If you were to thought of visualizing a tree.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So basically, I'm getting more chat section here. Banyan tree with strong roots around. I think Anjali ji got the point. So many a time when we were asked, I did that exercise long back, and I asked the participant to draw the tree. And when they drew the tree, it had everything. It had branches, it has twigs, it had mango fruits, as Devan said. It was a banyan tree. It had a like beautiful shed and crown and everything. But one thing, what everyone forgot to draw was the root of a tree.
Yeah.
So the root of a tree is the most important element in a tree because unless it has a strong roots, it would not be able to grow higher and higher in its capabilities. So to be able to shine, to be able to give to other people, we need to have the strong roots. And strong roots generally are not visible. They're hidden. So if we really have to make any changes in our life which is visible, we have to work upon something which is completely invisible. And what is invisible? What's happening within me? It's completely invisible. How I'm behaving, what are my perception, what are my thought processes, what are my blockages, where I'm at in my life. So unless we are able to have a deep root and having a deep connection with ourselves, we would not be able to make that huge, that strong impact into the people's life or in society as such. So so real change happens within, and that is what is visible outside. So the most important element of forgiveness, and which is a very much internal work, it is not been visible in our life very often, but the amount of work it goes in forgiving someone and what really happens in my external world, it has a tremendous impact. The first principle what we are going to learn today is that forgiveness is a choice. You can choose to forgive, you can choose not to forgive. Many a times we hear these stories that I cannot forgive this person. That person has done so much bad to me. That person was so nasty. He betrayed my trust. I cannot forgive this person. So at this point of time, I would like all of you to write this statement. I cannot forgive, fill in the blanks. I cannot forgive, maybe the name of a person whom you are not able to forgive. You can just type on the chat section, you can just make a note of it, you can just write it down. I cannot forgive blanket statement. So welcome new participants, whoever have joined, we just started the discussion. So now I would like all of you to write one more statement under the statement which you wrote, I cannot forgive this person. Just fill in the blanks. I am not willing to forgive blank. The first prompt is I cannot forgive blank. The second statement is I am not willing to forgive blank. You can fill in the words, many person's name or a person's name. So when you write this, what is coming up with you? What's happening? If you are saying these two statements to yourself, oh, I cannot forgive this person, versus I am not willing to forgive this person. What does these two statements makes you feel? And what is the contrast in all the statements? Anyone would like to share? I cannot forgive people who lie. Yeah, you cannot forgive liar. Sunita ji is mentioning that she cannot forgive liar. So you can just clearly see the difference it makes within you when you say, I cannot forgive this person versus I am not willing to forgive this person. It means when you say, I cannot, means there is no power with you. You feel I am powerless and I'm helplessly getting drawn into this resentment, into this anger, and I cannot forgive this person. When you say, I am not willing to forgive this person, it clearly makes this demarcation that you're choosing not to forgive this person. You have the power. So now, first thing before we even start into this discussion is that are we really willing to forgive this person or any person in my life? You can just take up, I would suggest you can take up one person whom you would like to forgive in the course of the entire discussion. So first of all, before we even talk about forgiveness, we have to have that deep desire, deep feeling that I want to forgive. And we would be discussing why we should forgive. So let us move on. So when we are willing to forgive a person, it means we are acting from a higher consciousness. But when we choose not to forgive a person, we're acting from a lower consciousness. And in human existence, in human body, it is very much appreciated if we keep on uplifting our consciousness higher and higher. So by forgiving anybody in your life who has done wrong to you, it is you are trying to uplift yourself. You're trying to fulfill the purpose of your own life, and you're grading your consciousness, upgrading your consciousness. And it is our offering to the world. What are we offering? If you are not willing to forgive someone, then we are holding to resentment, we are becoming angry. That is what our offering to the world. But if you are becoming more compassion and we are willing to forgive someone, and it is that same compassion we are offering to the world. And you know what goes around comes around. So if you show compassion to people, that would be another very important aspect of forgiveness. If we uplift ourselves, if we forgive someone, we develop compassion, the same compassion we would also receive. It is a very famous saying in the Bible, before God forgive you, you have to forgive someone in your life. So if you are holding on, if you are resentful, and same thing is going to come back to us. So that is very important that we develop this willingness to let it go, willingness to forgive, willingness to let go of that strong energy what we are holding to in our life. So now person can say, oh, what do you mean? You mean that we are not holding other person responsible for their action? No, forgiveness does not mean that you are condoning a wrong action. You're not empowering your abuser. You can set a strong boundary. So forgiveness is that's a very important aspect of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about other person. We would be having that strong shift in this discussion that forgiveness is all about you. It is you who want to uplift yourself. It is you who want to upgrade your consciousness. It is you who want to clean up your conscience, your inner world. So many times we tend to hate the person, but we should not hate the person. We should hate the action. So we should always have this demarcation that hating a person versus hating a person's action. When we hate a person, we are hating the whole personality, and the whole personality is not wrong. Maybe one aspect of his personality is maybe not right. So it is a very well known saying that we should hate the sin, not the sinner, because it is ignorance which impels a person to act in a sinful way. So we should hate the ignorance, not the person himself. So it's a very important a theme that we are opening ourselves to forgive a person. So this is a self contract which I would like all of you to make before we start the discussion about the forgiveness, that I, your name, and open to forgive and willing to take responsibility for my feelings or how I feel. You can just write this, complete the fill in the blank. I, your name, am open to forgive and am willing to take responsibility for how I feel. If you wish, you can write on the chat section, or if you wish, you can just write on the notepad what you have here. It's a self contract before we even move further. If you are not ready to forgive this person, then there is no meaning to attend this workshop. But if you are willing, you're opening your heart to forgive a person, that is where we start. We start from the willingness, and willingness comes because I can choose. I have a choice. You can just fill in the blank. I, your name, am willing to open my heart and willing to take responsibility for how I feel about myself. Yeah. So let's move on to the next section. Okay. Are you all able to see the screen? Just a second, there's some glitches here. Yeah. So let's move forward. So let's look into the past. Let's look where all it started and where we are at. So it is said that if we want to drive forward, but if we keep looking backward, can we really move forward? Or if we can move forward, what would be the consequences? If we want to drive forward by looking backward, it is going to take you nowhere. If you try to, you would somewhere will hit someone. Similarly, the past experiences with a certain person, in this case with a certain person, or in this case with yourself, as a Devan was mentioning, that we are not able to forgive ourselves, we are not able to forgive somebody else. If we hold on to the past and try to move forward in our life, it's like trying to move forward by looking backward. So it's very important to understand here is that it is not what really happens is important. Let me say it again. It is really not important what happens to you. It is important what you say to yourself what happened to you. So it is our storyline, what makes us free or what binds us. I have my own personal story, my own personal example. So what happened a couple of years back, around 15 years back, a person came in my life and that person injured my left eye. And it was a very difficult time for me. I was not able to see it properly. My vision became blurred. And I was very angry toward this person, toward this boy who hit me 15 years back. I think around 20 years back now. So I was very grudgeful. I was very hatred toward that person. I was thinking that how can I harm this person and things like this. So, but what happened because of this injury? I started looking inward when I started developing these workshops and started dwelling more into the like self-help or my own personal development. I came across a seminar wherein I was inspired to look backward in my life. So when I looked back and I saw how much resentment I'm carrying with that person, and I also looked at that what really happened to me in a long term because of that injury. What happened? I became very inquisitive in my life. I started asking a lot of questions. I started looking more in a psychological perspective. So basically, there's a lot of shift. What happened? I went very inner, very internally in my life, and I could see that amount of learning, amount of growth, amount of transformation, which I'm experiencing in my own personal life because of this one incident was enormous. And I could dedicate myself for the cause of helping other people for because of that particular incident. When I look back, I understood that this person was my teacher and he forced me to learn certain lessons which otherwise I would not learn. So in a way, I became grateful to that person. So when I expressed my gratefulness toward this person and I understood that this person is only giving back my own karma to me, is acting like a postman, is delivering my own bills or my own checks back to me. So I don't have any reason to feel angry or to feel elated about the person involved. So then I understood, oh, really, I should not be holding. Then I had this forgiveness process, deep inner work happened, and I could let it go. And I felt so light, so comforted, and that was a great shift in me. So the story which I was telling to myself, what happened to me, changed, and the way story changed, the way my entire life changed, the way my entire perspective toward that person changed. This is very important. So also what happens is it's very important that resentment creates a kind of a emotional bond with the person we have hurted. We have seen many stories wherein a person remain attached to that person who has hurted me because of negative attachment with that person, because of that negative emotional bond. So if you continue to remain negatively emotionally attached to that person, then you're not freeing yourself up for a new experience of your life. And somewhere in this lifetime or other lifetime, you would come across same person again because of that energetic bond, and you would have to continue sharing your experiences with the person you hate the most. So what we are doing is, with the person whom we hate the most, is a person who will keep coming back in your life in different shapes and forms. So if we are becoming resentful, if you're not forgiving this person, and actually it is we're binding ourselves negatively to this person. The more we want to become free, the more we are getting bonded with this person. So this is very important. And also, when we are able to let go of that resentment, automatically the effect of the past also go away with that. Because if you forgive, then the negative emotions you're holding on with this person, the word resentment is very important here. If you break down this word resentment, you can break resentment. Re means reply over and over, and sentiment means emotion. So we as a person, as a human being, have the capability to relive the emotions, same emotions over and over, and experience as if it is really happening in my life. That is a very special capability we as a human being have got. So if we misutilize this capability of ours and try to relieve the negative emotions, the same negative emotions will keep playing in your life. And although that incident happened once, but because of your mind involvement, because of your holding on to this person, because of you reliving the past again and again, you would continue to experience same kind of pain which you experienced originally over and over. It will impact your psyche, it will impact your energies, it will impact your physical health. Basically, it is going to drain you, deplete you enormously. So it's up to us whether we want to keep reliving positive thing. That would be one of the principles we'd be discussing now, or we want to just let it go and become free of all of that. So resentment is a self-inflicted injury. It is said if the pain we have experienced because of that incident, it is that person's mistake. But the pain which I'm experiencing now, it is my mistake. Let me say it again. The pain which we experienced when that person hurted me, that was his mistake. But now the pain which I'm experiencing, it is my mistake. It is my responsibility. It is me who is holding on to that anger. I'm responsible for that because I'm not willing to let it go. So it is said that it basically is self-imprisonment. You have bonded yourself to that anger. That anger is controlling you. That resentment is controlling you. That grudges is controlling you. And you have just become the prisoner of your own self. So that is how negatively resentment impacts us. So what happens? There was once a teacher, and the teacher has given one assignment to the student. And the assignment was that you have to make slips, make stickers of that many number of people we hold resentment towards. If you're angry toward 10 people, you have to make 10 stickers. If you're angry toward 15 people, you have to make 15 stickers. If you're angry toward 5 people, you have to make 5 stickers. And then the teacher says, okay, bring same amount of apples or potatoes. Bring same amount of potatoes and put one sticker on each potato. So technically what happened? How many number of people they were angry toward, that many number of potatoes they are carrying with themselves. And the assignment was, so now your assignment is for the next 1 week, you have to carry these potatoes with you always, wherever you go, in whatever situation you are in, for the next 1 week. Interesting. Let us see what comes out of this. The children were carrying a bag. Somebody was carrying 10 kg weight because of that heaviness of the potatoes. Somebody was carrying 5 kg. Somebody was carrying 2 kgs. So you see, if you carry one thing for a short time, you can carry it. But even this small mobile phone, if I ask you to carry for the next 24 hours. The small weight also will stress you. And now these poor kids have to carry these potatoes all alone. And wherever they go, they have to carry their potatoes, they have to sleep with those potatoes, they have to bathe with that potatoes. And over a period of time, those potatoes start stinking. You have to always play with those potatoes. By the end of 7 days, everybody was exhausted. Everybody was crying. Everybody was completely dejected and completely disgusted with this. And they said to teacher, is there any way we can get rid of these potatoes now? The teacher said, yes. If you are willing to forgive these people, then you can get rid of these potatoes. So now, open-ended question to all of you. How many potatoes are you carrying with yourself? How many people, towards how many people are you carrying that anger? It's not carrying anger once, it is like carrying anger for a long time, for so many people. See what would be happening within us. Me, poor self, how much I would be suffering internally because of one part of me wants to take vengeance and want to take revenge from that other person. So that is very striking story what I heard first time, that if we are carrying a lot of potatoes of hatred, so do we really want to carry that? It's our option. So it is said getting angry is actually punishing yourself with the other's mistake. And getting angry is like drinking poison and expecting other person to die. So it's, see, the reason is it is within me. I'm becoming angry. The anger is being developing inside my body, inside my system, inside my container. It is hurting me. That person is even not aware that I am getting hurt because of that person. So if that person has moved on, if that person is not carrying any of the things in his or her head, then why am I punishing myself? It is a sense of self-hatred. It is a sense of self-sabotaging. It is a sense of hurting yourself. And as Devan was mentioning, that it many of the time we tends to not forgive someone because I feel it was my mistake. I trusted this person, so I have to be punished for my wrong choice. I made the wrong choice of trusting this person and being in relationship with that person. It was my mistake. So I am to be hurt. If I am to be hurt, then this person is to come and say sorry or say whatever and just patch it up or just take vengeance. Till that point of time, I will not be able to forgive myself. So in many of the cases, forgiving other start by forgiving yourself for making that mistake. At the first place, when you choose to trust this person. So now small exercise for all of you. So I want all of you to write down or share or write in the chat that how much your past is impacting you now. What are the negative ways in which a past events or event is negatively impacting you even today? Negatively in terms of your physical sensation, negatively in maybe in terms of your draining of your energy, negatively maybe in terms of your having those negative emotions carrying within yourself. What are the ways in physical, energetically, emotionally, how it is hurting you? If anybody would like to share anything, you'll be more welcome.
It just makes me feel negative about myself.
Yeah. It makes you feel negative
But
about.
it is hard to even, I mean, you think, okay, you'll forgive. But then again, you're angry and then you feel negative about your own self, even though
Yeah.
You don't want to do it, but it comes out of you, and then you hate yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You become angry towards yourself. You hate yourself. It was me who was responsible for this relationship. It was my mistake.
Yeah,
So now the forgiveness starts from your own self. Is it really taking me anywhere? How much it is draining my energy? How much
yeah,
I'm depleted? How much I've been hurt? I will just give you an example. If if a child, your small child, for an example, does some mistake, he hurt someone, or he just does some mistake, you would punish the child once. But is it really fair on your part to keep punishing the same child over and over for the old mistake? Would you really do that of your with your small younger child? No,
no,
we would never do that. So same thing are not we doing with ourselves? We had made mistake once. We are punishing ourselves to we are punishing ourselves for the same mistake what we did in the past. Is it not like punishing a child for one simple mistake and scolding the child over and over every day, reminding him of that mistake?
but I feel it is also more complex and not simple.
Yeah, it's complex. Yes, it's complex. It's very complex. It's not easy. So I think we will come to that. Your question also. You had asked me this. We need to drill with this spiritual relation again and again. Negative emotions make me feel sad and worried. Yeah, it makes you feel sad, worried, and hurtful, angry, and things like that. So now let us understand one very important principle. And this principle can change whole perspective. See, what happens is a principle of where you focus, you grow in that area. So now let us discuss the process of growing of any tree. We started with the example of a tree. Now, if you were to sow two seeds, the seed of cactus and the seed of mango, and what do you really require to grow the seed into a tree? Sunshine and water, right? If you throw sunshine and water on on the land where you have sown both the seeds, do you think the sunshine and the water will make any discrimination? Oh, I am falling on the area of cactus seed. Let me not grow this cactus seed. Oh, I am falling on the area of mango tree. Let me grow this mango tree twice, thrice. Will the sunshine and the water have this discrimination? What am I growing?
No.
No. Wherever you throw sunshine, wherever water falls, any kind of seeds, it will grow. It may be cactus, it may be mango tree. And you know what happens in cactus, what happens in mango tree. Similarly, our consciousness, our attention, our thinking can be compared to sunshine and water. If I keep focusing on one part of me, which is angry and grudgeful and hurtful and sad and all those negative emotions, I'm holding and I'm just focusing on it over and over and over and over. So what is going to happen? That thing will keep growing. So now it has become that big. It was not even that strong at the first place when it was being created. The anger what we had in the beginning of the incident, of the end of the incident, what that when that person hurted me, let's say it was X amount. Now because of that involvement, thinking it over and over and harboring this anger, it has become 10 times. So it is not that person alone who is responsible. It is again, it's not in a way to hurt ourselves. At the same time, it's a kind of realization which dawns upon me at least that I can choose, I can forgive for my own better self. I have that power. So this is a very important principle that Wherever we throw our attention to, that become part of my reality. So whatever you focus, it grows. So we should focus on what we want to become, or not what we avoid, because we live in a lot of avoidance theory, not of looking forward, or like what focus on positive. I know there is a possibility, there is a place to also uh, cater and to attend to our negative emotions, to release them. At the same time, there is difference between releasing and recycling. Sometimes we keep recycling, not release the emotion. So it's what you appreciate. So if you are focusing on the negative, that will grow. So now another exercise. I know it's painful, I know it's challenging, I know it's difficult, but this is a time wherein we can face this difficult time and face this difficult emotion. So another exercise for all of you. Again, you have your copy and pen. If you would like to share, you can share with me. That negative thoughts about the person who have hurted you. What are those negative thoughts? What comes to your mind?
Not grateful.
Not grateful, ungrateful. Yes.
Impolite speech.
Impolite speech. Yes.
Yeah.
He was very impolite, very impudent. Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry, I have to say that, like, what comes up is like their behavior, just not forgivable behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not forgivable. They have done
Yeah.
such a thing to us. It's unforgivable.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're so nasty people that they don't deserve forgiveness.
I mean, sometimes we won't feel they're nasty, but we just feel we can't forgive them.
Yeah. We can't forgive them. They are not ready to be forgiven. It will not be justice to forgive them.
Yeah. Sometimes
It's
you feel like, yeah, I know. Go ahead.
it's also complex with siblings. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't break off, and you have
Yeah.
to, for the sake of their kids and all, you have to tolerate it at times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is what is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there are so many times I have said, okay, I forgive and move on. But again, it comes back with
Yeah.
another incident.
It keeps reminding you.
Absolutely.
It keeps reminding you because these people are in front of you. It will keep
Yeah.
triggering over and over and over. So you can't avoid them. You cannot deal with them. Become very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question, what I want all of you to answer is, in which way these negative thoughts are draining you physically, emotionally, or spiritually? How these negative thoughts are impacting you?
Emotionally,
Emotionally, yes. Emotionally, it's draining you. It's exhausting you. It's very painful. It's very sad.
because I don't want to behave like that. But
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
because they behave like that, I get angry. And
yeah, yeah,
I don't show angry towards them, but then I'm angry because I'm angry myself.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're not alignment with your principles. You're not in alignment with your true values.
My
Your true,
principle is to be
yeah,
joyful, but then I'm getting angry because
yeah,
they
yeah.
behave like that.
Yes, yes, yes. You're angry because you're not living your principles. You're not living your life. You're living their life.
Mhm.
So that person becomes the ruler of your life in that way.
Yeah. Mhm.
Such a hard realizations are dawning upon us. It's important. I really appreciate all of your vulnerability and your openness. So the next question is very hard, the most toughest thing which you can think of. Can you really appreciate something about this person? I know it will be unjustified to say it at this point of time, but let's say hypothetically, if you can appreciate something about this person, something, maybe they're existing as a human being, they may not be good to you, but they may be good to somebody else. They maybe have some good qualities in them. If you can really appreciate, because that is going to be the key of forgiving that person. Again, we are not appreciating them to glorify them, but we are appreciating ourselves so that we can stop focusing on the negative thing and stop burning our own houses.
I'm trying to do some compassion meditation towards
Compassion
her.
meditation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This word compassion, we'll touch upon it little later, but that is a key. Compassion, ability to develop compassion, is the most powerful thing you can have. Those those preparators, those people who have hurted you, actually are your teachers to teach you compassion.
Yeah, I guess. So you be compassion by just ignoring your feelings and just talking, continue to just be nice. Is that how passionate you have to be?
So compassion is not about ignorance. Compassion is about really would have lifted yourself to that level that you don't need to ignore. It doesn't really exist now anymore. It's a spiritual development, what happens gradually. So all the more the question is being coming up over and over that if they're very close people, your cousins, means
Yeah.
they are your toughest teachers.
Yeah.
They will not leave you unless they teach you.
I know I have one situation that I'm like just not able to get over it.
Yeah,
You know,
it is painful. It is challenging. You feel stuck there.
and because you love these people also, it's not that,
Yeah.
you know, you want them
Yeah.
out of your life.
Yeah, it's that particular behavior which has itched in your mind and you're not able to move forward. You love them, you care for them, at the same time, something is
Yeah.
withholding you back.
Yeah. Hmm.
Clearing these doubts, clearing these is very important. Okay. So I hope you might have got some bit of an idea that how much negatively it is impacting you. So this workshop is all about not about them, because I don't know them. I know all of you, but I don't know them. But I'm not favoring them at any point of time. But my intention in this workshop is to enable you to allow yourself to become free from that self-imprisonment, from that self-hatred. That is the agenda of this workshop. So let us move forward towards the most important and I would say little sensitive part of this discussion is about human conditioning. Okay, let me ask all of you a question. Very silly question. So when you squeeze an orange, what do you get?
Juice.
What orange? What juice? Mango juice?
Oranges.
Orange. If you squeeze an orange, you get an orange juice. If you squeeze a lemon, you get a lemon juice. If you squeeze a mango, you get a mango juice. If you whatever you squeeze, that kind of juice you get. So now, if those people pushed and they squeezed me, what came out?
Anger.
Anger came out. So they're squeezing you. And what is coming out? What was inside us? I know it's hard to accept, but actually they're triggering your own unprocessed emotion. Many a times, other person is not even aware that he's hurting us or she's hurting us.
Yeah, that's true.
Just an innocent remark on their part can make our life miserable.
Yep.
So means it's not really about them. They're not intentionally coming and hurting you. They're just unknowingly squeezing you. And what is coming out? What is my reality?
Yep.
So in that case, a lot of deep work is to be done within me. And those people are telling me where you have to work. In that way, they're pointing out my mistakes. They're pointing out my area of growth. There are many people that same situation happens, same thing happens. One person get upset, another person doesn't. Once what happened, there was a employee or the boss has scolded two employees. You're good for nothing. You made this report so badly. Nobody would make such a report. You're pathetic. Blah blah blah. He told to two people. One person went into a big trauma. Oh, I'm a bad person. This boss is going to throw me. My life is miserable. I'm good for nothing. Over and over. And etc., etc., etc. He told to another person, he was calm and composed. He understood there is some problem with the boss. It is not my mistake. It is he is angry with his wife. He is showing his anger towards me. So I'm not a bad person. It is about him. And now, since he's pointing out some mistake in my report, I can correct it. I have a choice to. I can choose. I can choose to correct my report and grow in my own professional life. Two people reacting in a two different ways for the same things. What it points out to? It points out to that there is something unprocessed feelings within me, my own blockages, my own triggers, which this person is pointing out work there. And they are technically known as core hurts. Core hurts means the areas of your own personal sensitivities. Everybody has their own core hurts. Somebody's core hurt may be when somebody just raises their eyebrows, they feel hurted. Somebody's core hurt may be when you get betrayed by somebody, when there's a betrayal of trust, you get hurt. When somebody is mentioning, when somebody lied to us, we get hurt. So everybody in this call will have their own sensitivities. Anybody who touches those sensitive points, we get hurt and we develop vengeance. We cannot forgive this person. So what I'm trying to mention here is it is our own personal sensitivities which you have to work upon, which is being given an opportunity. So if those personal sensitivities are taken care of, that person does not have any power to hurt me anymore. So the core need, basically, core hurts comes from core needs, and core needs create expectation. This is very important because we all of us have some need. I need you to be in a particular way. I want you to be in a particular fashion. I want you to behave in a certain way. It is my need. And those needs create expectations. And when those expectations are not fulfilled, then we get hurt. So basically what's happening is it is my own expectation which is hurting me. It is known as expectations hangover. I had developed very high expectation or sometimes very low expectation, but there are expectation. And when those expectations are not met, we get badly hurt. Higher the expectation is, more the hurt would be. Lower the expectations are, the less the hurt would be. So if you can fulfill your own needs and you have zero expectation from that person. So sometimes we have expectation, oh, that person should respect me. That person should love me. I had that expectation that he would be always with me. He would never tell lie to me, or she would never ditch me. That was my expectation. So that person did not meet those expectations, we get hurt. So with every resentment, there is an unfulfilled core need, as we just discussed. So now, interestingly, what happens because we are feeling too much of pain when we are when that expectation hangover. When I say expectation hangover, I mean is when you have certain expectation, when you don't meet them, you feel be anxious, you feel betrayed, you feel hurt. So basically, after effect of expectation, and because we cannot look within and we are not ready to take responsibility for our own expectation, we use the blame game to release that pain. I know it can be very hurtful for so many who are in the call. It may be very painful and triggering some very sad and negative emotions. But if we can take responsibility for our own self, then we will never blame in our life. We'll never hold those grudges. We'll never be resentful. So taking responsibility for myself and becoming strong and fulfilling my own needs, is a way by which we can, many times we don't have that courage to deal with the pain and to be with the pain. That's why the quick fix is blame other person and show how you're wrong, how you're bad. Many times it happens for a person who are perfectionist. What happened with perfectionists is they cannot see themselves to be berated by somebody. When somebody point out some mistake in a perfectionist, they're hyper sensitive to criticism. The moment you point out something, even right thing in them to correct, they would just start arguing, start behaving in a way that other person is bad, start argumentation and clashes and things like this. That person don't have courage to see within whether he's saying what is right or wrong. There will be some truth to it, there will be some reality to it, but my sudden reaction is, let me attack this person with my argument, let me crash this person with my analytical skills, with my intellect, because of my own inability to deal with the pain. So now, looking within, what were the expectation from your offender you did not get? What were you expecting from your offender that you didn't get? Were you expecting respect? Were you expecting love? Were you expecting appreciation? Were you expecting, the harmony? What were your expectation?
At least to get an apology from the
Yeah,
sister.
yeah. You need apology. You're looking for if that person can apologize. My question is, when you really got hurt, what what expectation that person did not meet that hurted you? What expectation that person did not fulfill that made you feel hurt?
Polite speech. I was
Polite speech.
expecting that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was expecting softness in his talk. Yes. You were expecting politeness. You were expecting that kind of a respect in a way, respectfully talking.
Yeah,
Yes. This was your
respect,
expectation.
appreciation.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to think? Is a very interesting point, that what were your expectation that your offender did not meet? When that was the expectation of safety, it can be anything. So that expectation which we were expecting, that is our core need.
Yeah.
So now, to be able to heal your core need, we have to provide that need to ourselves. That is where the real work is. The real work is, if you feel hurt by somebody who did not respect you, means you need to be respected and you have that deep desire to be respected. So you want to feel valued. So if you can start valuing yourself, then that need will go away. And even that person values, doesn't value, respect, does not respect, doesn't matter. So the whole work is within that person is showing you this is your wound. That is where the healing starts. Unless if the wound is covered and somebody does not touch it and we don't feel pain, and till that point of time we will not be ready to heal and uncover that pain, uncover that wound. So in that way, what happens, there was a person who was praying to God, to angels, and the angel appears in front of him and he said, what is your desire? I want to bless you. Ask any desire you have. He says, my desire is that I want to become the most compassionate person of this world. And then he says, okay, then let's do one contract. Next lifetime, I will become your worst enemy. Why? The person who is blessing him is going to become his worst enemy. Yes, I would become your worst enemy. I would hurt you very badly. And to be able to forgive me, you will have to rise to higher and higher level of compassionate level. You will be forced to uplift yourself and to be compassionate. Then only you can forgive me. Then only you can remove your resentment towards me. And that is how I am going to teach you compassion. a very figurative story, but we can see these people as teachers, or we can see these people as offenders. It's how we look, it's how we, the story which we tell to ourselves. So now, any questions till now? Anybody have any doubts before we actually, now we will be covering the core of the whole session, that what is the process of forgiveness? Before that, any doubts, any questions till that, whatever we have discussed till now?
You told that we need to value ourselves. How
Yes.
do you do that? Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, that how do we value ourselves?
Yeah,
So
because
valuing
we
our,
think we are right and we feel, oh, we are good. We are a good person, we feel.
yeah,
So how do you value yourself?
yeah. So we can value ourselves only when we see ourselves. If we are not able to see ourselves, then we cannot really value ourselves. If we see ourselves as a bad person, if we see ourselves as a person who is not good enough, if we see ourselves as a person who is not worthy of anything, if we see ourselves as a person who don't deserve love, don't deserve care, who don't deserve any of the positive things in the life, then you're not valuing yourself. And we are not valuing ourselves because we are not seeing ourselves to be worth of having all these things. And why we are not seeing ourselves not to have that worth? Because we are not seeing our true self. We are seeing ourselves the way people sees me as. What happened? We reflect people's emotions. Sometimes people says, you're a bad person, you're a bad person, you're a bad person. When something is being told, when the lie is being told long enough and the strong enough, that become a truth. When a lie is being told loud enough and the long enough, it becomes a truth. When people have told me you're a bad person multiple times and loud enough, very strongly, I feel yes, I'm a bad person. And a bad person does not deserve good things in the life. Bad person does not deserve respect. And because I don't deserve, I have to gain from other people. It's very painful to not deserve, to feel that worthlessness. So we develop a strategy. How do we gain that worth? So we gain that worth when somebody appreciates us, when somebody respects us, when somebody gives us some gift. Okay, that makes you feel valuable, that make you feel worthy, and that releases that pain of not having that worth. The first stage of developing value towards ourselves is to see who am I, is to see yourself from the God's perspective, how God sees me. These people sees me as unloved, uncared for, unworthy, and unvalued. But how does my creator sees me, who has created me, the God? If he sees me with unconditional love, if he gives me importance, if he knows that I am so valuable and so worthy, being his part and parcel, then that deep feeling of unworthiness will disappear. Just that now we are seeing ourselves from somebody else's perspective, maybe from our parents' perspective, maybe from our elders' perspective when we were growing up in our life. Now, if we train ourselves to see ourselves from a God's perspective, all this feeling will disappear. It's a practice, it's a hard practice which takes time, and we have a separate workshop for that, self-love workshop. We will be doing sometime later, self-care and self-love workshop. We discuss many fundamental points, we have many exercises. First of all, to see how much we hate ourselves. You would be shocked to know that we really hate ourselves, we don't love ourselves. Our activity shows that. Anyways, moving forward, any other doubts before we move to the steps of forgiveness?
Sometimes we just wish that person changes. So
Yeah,
maybe that's our expectation
yeah,
also, that
yeah,
we are just always hoping that that person will change,
yes, yes,
like in like a sister,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we are hoping these people will change. And in that hope of these people will change and they never change, I keep remaining myself into same miserable state all of my lifetime. You know,
Mhm.
interestingly, why do we expect other people to change? What's the reason?
Because we are not changing.
Yeah, because it's very difficult to change ourselves. Because we don't have that courage to change ourselves, so we expect let other person change.
Mhm.
So again, taking responsibilities and working on your own self and gaining that strength of being able to forgive. And basically, the self change is the most difficult change. So what happens? I think I'm just deviating, but small story.
Okay, we can continue with.
So what happens is there was a king who goes out, and when the king goes out, he had a lot of dirty roads, and his feet get hurt. When he come back, he says, "Okay, let me let me cover all the roads with the leather, so that when the next time I go out, it will be very soft. I don't get hurt." Another minister said, "My dear king, I have an option for you, wherein you can cut down your budget to 99.99% just by making leather shoes for yourself. So just make leather shoes for yourself, everything will change." So let us move forward. So let us come to the main theme, that what are the steps of forgiveness. So first step is acknowledging that forgiveness is a choice. I can choose to forgive, I can choose not to forgive. And it's for my own benefit. I choose to forgive that person. It is not for that person's justifying that person's mistake. It is just to help myself. It's just to grow myself. It's just to free myself from that emotional bond I'm carrying. The second step is confront and release your emotions. All of us are expert, at least I can say for myself. I am very expert in avoiding pain of looking within, like our own core needs, our core sensitivities. Because unless you confront them, unless you go on and on with them, face to face with them, it's very difficult. We'll keep holding to that. So confronting and releasing your emotions. Very important that being able to see situation from the offender's perspective. Many a time what happens is that person is not really trying to hurt you. Other person is really not trying to hurt you, but other person is trying to protect himself. When a thief steals something from your office or from your car, or he steal your car, we become very vengeance. How come he stole my things? But if you see from that person's perspective, he did not steal to actually steal to hurt you. He steals so that he can get some food. He stole something, he can get something for himself. Again, I'm not justifying that person's position, but just to impersonalize the pain, it is not about me, it is about them. If they are not able to respect me because they are wounded enough not to have that respect for me, it is their pain. They're showing up their problem in that interpersonal issues what we are having now. So ability to see situation from offender's perspective and see other person was not really trying to hurt you. He was trying to protect himself. Sometimes kids, they go and hit someone in a fear that if they don't hit, other person will hit. So also there are certain beliefs which we carry. So now I want all of you to see this and tell me one belief do you carry that prevent you from forgiving? Like somebody said, they must apologize first. It is not right to forgive a murderer. Like conditional forgiveness. We put some conditions. Only if these conditions met, we can forgive. So I want all of you to take a minute. Just look at the screen. There are multiple beliefs which we have compiled and see which one suits you, which one fits in you. That which belief prevents you from forgiving. You can just type on the chat section whatever you are carrying that belief in. What is your belief that why you should not forgive? And let us move forward. So, now we have been learning this. See your teacher, see your offender as a teacher. He needed to bring some lessons in life. Some lessons comes hard way, some lessons come short way. A lessons which I have to learn, I have to grow so that I can become heal and whole and not remain that same wounded and incomplete. So again, empathizing, the person himself may be going through a lot of difficulties, challenges. It is his own trouble, which is bringing it out. It is on mistake, his own pain. All those resonates. Yeah, Devan, thank you. Yeah. So, and that we discuss compassion. We discussed that how the compassion is an anti-toxic of the soul. Where there is compassion, even the most poisonous impulse remain relatively harmless. And compassion can be developed only when you connect with your higher self. So, in a sense, forgiveness is a process which will force you to higher and upgrade yourself and uplift yourself. If you really have to forgive someone, you have to connect with your highest self. Your ability to be connected to your highest being and gaining strength from there and uplift yourself and see that other people are really hurting them, are trying to protect themselves. See that how it is their pain, not my problem, and able to forgive. It becomes very easy for you to forgive them. And also, you can apply same principle to yourself, self-compassion. So as a Devan was mentioning, self-forgiveness, self-forgiveness will not come unless you have self-compassion. Compassion with yourself. I was going through a lot of pain in that point of time. It is so um, it is so this thing to high expectation. It is unjust to expect from myself that I would be behaving perfectly all the time. I was in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of challenges. It was difficult for me to go through that. Yeah, I acted in a way which was not pleasant, which was very hurtful. But being able to show that compassion to yourself is a key to be able to forgive yourself. So again, uh, showing the same compassion to yourself is another technique which we'll learn some other time, is known as transference technique. We have a lot of sessions on that, and we can also connect one to one for developing these principle in place. We can apply these principles. So now officially we close here, and we have learned the philosophy of forgiveness. Now we would like to implement something practically. And now we are going to do one meditation, do one guided meditation, wherein all of you would go through that process internally. And this is a process which I found to be very powerful, can be helpful for many of you. So at this point of time, I want all of you to be relaxed and just follow the suggestions which is being made. It would be a recorded guided meditation. So if you need to adjust your volume according to the what kind of high volume, less volume you want to hear, you can adjust, because uh, will have their own the priorities and preferences. So I would be sharing it now, and I request all of you to be fully immersed into it and just flow along with the thought process. So whatever we have learned till now, that is being expressed in this meditation. So you would get to practice this. And I would recommend to have one person in your mind whom you want to forgive. And if you want to forgive yourself, you can have yourself, your own image, when the right time comes. Let me share it with all of you. Welcome to forgiveness meditation. So all of you are able to hear?
Yes.
Okay. So you can adjust your volume according to your preference. I'm just playing it.
Word resentment means to feel again. We all deal with resentments, holding on to harms that has been caused to us in the past. This is a painful experience. When you hold on like this, you feel the pain repeatedly. Sometimes these resentments may feel like they offer security from future harm, but it sets a motion of anger within us, and we keep burning on the fire of our own anger. By the process of forgiveness, you can free up the space in the heart to allow flow of love and care to grow in your own life. This practice of forgiveness will help you let go of these painful experiences and create a space to process all the repressed emotions within, which brings tremendous amount of freedom in the body, heart, mind, and your soul. Forgiveness does not make other persons right, but it sets you free from hurting yourself, which is more important to grow and heal your wounds. Now, try to visualize the person whom you wish to forgive in this meditation, and notice the label the mind habitually gives them, and feel the resentment you may experience toward this person. Try to feel this resentment fully and allow it to pass through you without trying to numb it and defer it. Allow yourself to experience this resentment which you have been trying to hide in yourself. Scan your body to find where in your body are you feeling these resentments, these angry feelings or enviousness. Are you feeling in your heart? Are you feeling in your stomach? Are you feeling in your head? Just try to see and feel where in your body are you feeling these resentment feeling toward this person. As you are allowing yourself to feel these difficult emotions, try to inhale deep breath to comfort yourself like a baby. Breathe in like a baby and breathe out like a baby. Breathe in to fill your stomach and breathe out to empty your stomach. When you are breathing in, visualize how fresh, bright light is entering your body through your breath and releasing each and every tension you might have experienced in your body just now. And when you're exhaling, visualize that you're releasing all your tension, all your stress from your body. Breathe in fresh light, exhale dark and tension energy. Do it for a couple of times before you find yourself in a completely relaxed state. Now, again start seeing this person in the eyes of your mind without any label or need to judge them. Notice if you find this person attractive or repulsive, what is their job, what is their role, any judgment or an opinion you may bring up in your mind, just try to sideline them for some time. Do not try to force anything down or deny the experience or presence of these thoughts. Our mind is designed to categorize and label things, and we all judge other people. Now, begin to observe this person with a beginner's mind, as if you have never seen this person before. Start to seeing them as a living person who are breathing and feeling and experiencing their own life. Recognize that this person has friends, a job, he has a family, him or her has their own life story. This person have people in his life whom he loves, and many other people loves this person, and they have their own personal connections. Being able to understand that person's situation without carrying a revengeful mood is a sign of maturity. Slowly bring awareness to this person's possible experiences. Like you, they have hopes, dreams, fears, sorrows, regrets, joy. We don't need to know this person's whole story to be sure that they are subjected to pleasant and unpleasant emotional experiences. I invite you to now slowly open up your heart to the space of compassion and willingness to forgive this person by realizing how helpless and painful story that person might have gone through, which forces them to act in a hurtful way. Now, slowly we are moving toward becoming ready for a forgiving ritual. It would be delightful to allow yourself the relaxation that's needed in order for you to change things in your life that you desire. And complete relaxation is impossible when you hold grudges. Sometimes it's hard to even imagine forgiving those who have hurt you. But this is a necessary step in a progression of personal achievement and for your spiritual growth. Let's begin by saying, I am open to forgive and willing to take responsibility for my emotions. Say to yourself, I am open to forgive and I am willing to take responsibility for my own emotions. So now, since you have opened up yourself to the space of forgiveness, let's do some relaxation technique that will open us into the state of forgiveness. Again, start to notice how your body feels right now. Notice any place that feels pleasant, any place that feel pleasant at this point of time. It could be as small as a tip of your nose or much larger area. Just feel this sensation of goodness and allow them to expand. Allow for more pleasant feelings to enter into your body through the power of your own breath. Breathe in easily and consciously, knowing that each inhale you oxygenate in your system and send goodness through your entire body. Inhale goodness and exhale into an even more relaxed state. Inhale forgiveness and exhale anger and resentment. Inhale deeply the force of good and exhale into relaxation by letting go of any anger, any resentment, and any negative feelings. Now, when I count from 5 to 1, you're allowing yourself to drift into a complete relaxed state. 5, you're relaxed. 4, you're even more relaxed. 3, you're becoming comfortable. 2, 1, completely relaxed. Let's continue with this newly found relaxed state to a place of forgiveness. This is a very important opportunity. It will aid you in the progression towards personal achievement in all aspects of your life. Now visualize you are in a beautiful garden on a mild day with the fluffy clouds rolling by in the sky. And the sun periodically warming your skin and nourishing the plants in this garden. As you are admiring the beauty here, the way the leaves of the vegetations are by the wind, there are many colors of flowers throughout the garden, and their fragrance is sweet and welcoming. You are completely absorbed in appreciating the beauty of this garden. Be in this garden for some time and look around. What do you see? Now you look down to see a small footpath through some flowering strips, and it is an inviting and mysterious path. So, go down this way. As you curve around the beauty of this garden, you inhale the fresh oxygen that these plants produce. You feel very pleasant and relaxed. As you go in that mysterious path, round a corner, a small bench made of wood comes into your view. And now you're seeing a person you most need to forgive is sitting right there. They have been waiting for you because this is a very important encounter. Now you can sit down beside them because place is a very safe place. And there are some things that you need to say to this person with bravery, assertiveness, and courageousness. Look them directly into their eyes and say, "You have hurted me. I have suffered for too long because of this burden I am carrying in the form of grudges towards you. But now I have understood that it was my own past misdeed which forced you to act in a hurtful way. So now I am fully accepting my responsibility and fully understand that you was not acting independently. You was merely an instrument in the hands of nature to give back my own dues to me and teach me a required lesson to grow in my own life. I don't want to continue to suffer because of your ignorant act. I know you were also going through pain in your life and you were trying to protect yourself by hurting me. So I have decided to be compassionate to you and own myself, and I am forgiving you now for my own good and to release negative emotional bond between both of us. I forgive you. I forgive you not to help you, but to better myself. I forgive you, and you will not enter into my thoughts any longer. I forgive you because forgiveness leads to openness in all aspects of my life. I forgive you to grow in my own life. Now, you can notice the darkness that was once in their eyes begins to lighten. And for a while, they do not say a word. Then the silence is broken. They simply said to you, "Thank you for forgiving me. And now I will leave you alone. You will not be tormented by the thoughts of me anymore." He or she gets up from this beautiful wooden bench and walk into the depth of a nearby wooden forest. You are watching them as a figure grows smaller into the distance until you no longer see them. Never once did they return and look back to your way. Good, very good. This was a very important meeting today in this beautiful garden. And as you breathe in the fresh air, you feel twice as light as you did before. That's because a huge weight has been lifted now that the person you needed to forgive is no longer sitting with you within a sacred garden in your own heart. They have moved on from your heart, and so have you from this relationship. When you rise from your meditation at your own pace, you will notice that you're eager and ready to make your life much better. So, congratulations in accomplishing a very important task of forgiving a person. Congratulations and best of luck for your future.
You can just be with your experience. You can experience your feelings, experience your emotions. See what are you experiencing now. Any realizations, any points, anything which is happening within you. Just take a mental note of that.
Yeah, I can say I never intended to hurt or cause harm to anyone, and I was just acting unconsciously out of my hurt and pain.
Yeah, yeah. You was unconsciously acting out from your pain, and it was not your intention. You're not that a bad person that you intently would go and go out and hurt people. It was your own wounds you were playing out from.
And that's ineffective, but it's effective in avoiding pain, and it's also effective in causing other problems for myself and others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a strategy of solving your problem is becoming another problem now for you. You thought that would be a solution for your problem, but now it is creating more and more pain, more and more challenges in you. Anyone would like to share their experiences, their feelings, their transformation, whatever they have in their mind? So we are just opening ourselves to any discussion, any point which they would like to share.
Thank you so much. It was a very immersive meditation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of this session and spending a valuable uh, 2 hours from your day, and it really means a lot to all of us. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I think this is a very unique topic because people tell about meditating to learn, to get inner peace, to learn about yourself, or to be one with your consciousness. But I think a majority of people in this world suffer with this forgiveness topic of forgiveness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Very
think that is more important than just regular meditation classes.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's very powerful that yeah, so unconsciously we're acting out from our pain, from our unconscious wounds, and it's very
Mm.
important to look at them, to try to heal them, and rather going very high philosophically, but not being
Yeah,
grounded in your reality.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Anyone else would like to share their realizations, their learning point, what they would like to carry from this workshop?
This meditation really helped me in coming to a conclusion for my long time suffering, that I hope this stays in future forever. But what I feel is, I would say that's a bad dream happened.
Yeah.
So it's a new beginning. That's how
Yeah.
I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. You would like to
I hope
uh,
it continues.
yeah, you would like to close the old chapter and
Uh-huh.
consider that as a bad dream and opening to a new realization, new chapter, and rewrite your story and move on in your life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share what's happening with you? What you would like to share with all of us? So we will conclude here, and we would continue to have these discussions. I also offer one-on-one coaching on forgiveness. If anybody would like to have more depth one-to-one experience of forgiving, then they can reach out to me. And for the session, we'll conclude here. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you for your
Anjali.
time.
Thank you for coming.